this decent 24-inch all-in-one, and it's touchscreen. I put Windows 11 on it, and I was thinking I probably just ought to upgrade it to an SSD because it's pretty slow, even though it seems like a nice machine, and they're going for 250 bucks on eBay. So I figure if I put an SSD in it, it'll go for just a little bit more, and it'll sell pretty quickly. Let's take a look. Here's a 256 gig that I had on the shelf, so that ought to work. Let's see what we got on the guts inside. Screws that I've found so far are along the bottom, so we'll take them out. Screws are out, and now I'm going to have to use a pry tool to go around the edges of this and make sure it's loose. I found a couple of good spots kind of right here near where the screws were, and put a little extra force right there and popped it apart. Now that it's apart, there are a few data cables that are going to need to be removed. Oh, no. These came out with a gentle tug. Let's see if I can show you on this one. This one's got an angle, so we're going to pull down instead of directly out. It's pretty easy. And then right here, this probably has a latch that once I get the camera out of the way, I should be able to see better, and that should just flip up and allow that flat ribbon cable to be removed. It wasn't quite what I expected. You can see these little clips on the side, and you just have to hold those down with a finger on each side and pull down. It's not too big a deal. This looks like our hard drive. Whoops, still got a case screw on that. So I will remove the hard drive and replace it. Let's see, yep, that comes out, kind of. Is there another spot that was stuck? It feels like, oh, there it is, right there. So there's our hard drive. We had a 500 gig mechanical drive that is, I would say, dog slow. I gotta say, this feels really old school because I'm so used to working with NVMe drives now, like this. You know, you got your little stick of gum that's so much faster than any mechanical drive or regular SATA drive could be. Here we go. I'm going to try this 256 gig instead because I think the holes are a little more in the center of the drive, where this one they were a little up, and and they didn't quite match up with the bracket itself. So I'm going to see if maybe this one will fit once I get the screws out. This one is also a little bit thicker. You can see the screw holes don't quite line up. I have this guy here, but it's only 120 gig. That seems a little small these days. 256 is it's good for work. I'm not gonna put a bunch of stuff on it, but like this this 120 gig, oh, is so thin that oh, I guess it's the same. This bracket's just awful. This was I guess an extra thin drive or something. Or has the screw holes drilled a little bit differently. Let's see what I can do about that. I think the solution is a tough screwdriver and a hammer, and I'll knock down those little risers, those little whatever they call those. I think I found just the screwdriver for the job. Alright, let's see if my case modifications have worked. I think this is going to work. We've got enough play in there now that things are lining up. Yep. Yeah, worked fine. They went right in. Now let's see if after my brilliant modifications, if the case is going to fit back together just fine too. We're almost there. There it is. And something like that. I'm going to need two hands. Well, looks like I'm going to have to loosen this whole thing because this is not really getting in there very well. I don't think it's making the connection properly. I know that if you guys have hung with the video this long, you were dying to get a look at the guts of this thing, so here you are. And that's where I'll plug in what I need. And look at that. Look at that little heat sink there, and it looks kind of weak. And then there's this little fan over here, and there's not even much of a shroud to get there, but I guess it works. I'm not an engineer. This is definitely behind the scenes. I thought I paid attention when I took the other drive out, and turns out I didn't, because it lines up this way. And so I put the drive in upside down. That's why I was having trouble. Don't tell anybody. So really, most of the interesting things in this video were completely unnecessary because I didn't pay close enough attention when I took the drive out in the first place. Everything's back together and not a single screw is left, except for the case screws. But we know where those go, so no extra screws is a good thing. Oh, didn't clean it yet. Didn't clean it. I think I better just go clean it. Yeah, I think that's better. Not perfect, but better. I was really concentrating while I was plugging things in, and I didn't do any commentary, so I had to come back later and do it. These connectors are pretty easy to work with. It takes a little bit to line them up. Of course, with my big sausage fingers, it might take a little longer. And then just make sure they're seated. This side is pretty easy because you can reach all of it. Don't need that pry tool to make sure everything's seated. I could tell with my fingers. And then the ribbon cable, I could not get it here on the desk because the desk is a little slippery. So what I had to do was actually turn off the camera, put the thing in my lap so that the monitor wouldn't slide around. Things are working. Now I will install Windows 11 on here and wipe everything else. This thing's ready to get back to work. Just gotta do the Windows updates and we can see, oh look, it runs reasonably fast now. You click on stuff and it appears instead of waiting and waiting. So it's a good machine now. Oh, that's right, touchscreens. Haha, cool.